Control players denied.
Hey Control Nation, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dr. Red. In this video, we are reviewing all of the cards that place damage counters rather than doing damage proper. This is because you can use Technical Machine Devolution to KO your opponent in an aggro control style manner. I'll also be adding some commentary on deck lists and ideas you might try. Please add your own in the comments. Also, I want to thank the channel members called Arborists. Thank you for your support and in making CPU what it is. And thank you to all the Discord members who keep the conversation going. And so now let's get started. First, we have Cacnea, 60 base HP, counterattacking quills, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon that does damage to this Pokemon when it is in the active. Its evolution, Cacturne, is the exact same way, except it has 130 base HP. This card does not see any play, though you might see it pop up in the occasional Froslass spread deck. This one, however, Maractus, is all over Froslass spread. The ability Exploding Needles, if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. It also is great that it has Corner for 20 base damage and a colorless energy. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So lock something that can't do damage to your opponents, to your own Pokemon, and then just use Monkey Dory to heal off the Maractus. Meowscarada EX has the Bouquet Magic ability. You must discard a basic Grass Energy card from your hand to use this ability. Once during your turn, put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This is rarely seen in Dragapult EX. It's usually its own archetype, especially with the new baby Meowscarada from Journey Together. This card, however, also sees a lot of play with Serena EX. Serena's first attack allows you to place damage, you'll see here in a second, place damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon until there's 30 HP. Then you just use Bouquet Magic to discard an energy and KO the Pokemon. You have Sinistcha, Curse Drop, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. This card is its own archetype paired with Sinistcha EX and Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. The new Young Mega EX coming out also sees play in Japan. There's Sinistcha EX, Rebrew, put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon for each basic Grass Energy card in your discard pile, then shuffle those energy cards into your deck. It's very easy to do that with cards like Professor's Research, Ultra Ball, and Brilliant Blender. Trevenant, Forest Miasma, during Pokemon checkup, if this Pokemon's in the active, put a damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. This card is meant to be paired with Claydol as the Kaboomdoll attack. You KO Kaboomdoll, rather you put 120 damage on it. You could also put a Luxurious Cape on it. And then it'll KO itself, then you put Trevenant in the active and KO your opponent's Pokemon. This will be great to combat Mega EX Pokemon. Victory Bell, selecting Acid, 120 base damage. At the end of your opponent's next turn, put 12 damage counters on the defending Pokemon. Magby, Scorching Heater. This Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. This card doesn't see any play, though you might try it in a Froslass spread deck. Ninetales Dance, put damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Bruxish, counterattack. If this Pokemon's in the active and is damaged, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Big Bite is also a retreat lock, but it's awkward to energize, hence why Froslass spread doesn't use it. Feraligatr is its own archetype with Monkey Dory. Torrential Heart, once during your turn, you may put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, its attacks do 120 more damage, but the 5 damage counters you're putting on it, Monkey Dory is going to heal off of it and put onto your opponent's Pokemon. There's Froslass, ability Freezing Shroud. During checkup, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon that has an ability, both yours and your opponent's, except any Froslass. This is its own archetype. It's one of the most creative archetypes. You can pair pretty much anything you want with it. Glaceon Permeate Chill. At the end of your opponent's next turn, put 9 damage counters on the defending Pokemon and does 30 base damage. Slowbro, this is interesting. Strange Behavior ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. Leafeon EX is the card you want to pair this with. If you have multiple Slowbro on the bench, put the 9 damage counters, so 180 damage from your Leafeon onto the Slowbro, and then use its Moss Agate attack to heal 100 damage from all of your Pokemon. So the Slowbro just gets healed completely, so you can just reset it for next turn. Starmie, Mysterious Comet. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you do, discard this and all attached cards. This card got attention in Japan because it was paired with Archaludon EX to fix math for KOing Pokemon like Raging Bolt EX. It has since dropped out of favor. There's the Serena X we talked about, Icicle Soul. Put damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon until its remaining HP is 30. Like we said, Meowscarada EX is a great one for this. You could also pair it with Monkey Dory, which will heal 30 damage by moving damage counters to your opponent's Pokemon. You can also use it by itself and just wear your opponent down and then hit it with Drop Kick. can also pair it with Uxie, which we'll see here in a second. There's Minun, the Buddy Pulse ability. If you have a Plusle in play, whenever your opponent attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. The effect of Buddy Pulse doesn't stack. I've seen this once on the ladder with a Miraidon EX deck. It is infuriating to play against. There's Alakazam with Strange Hacking. Your opponent's active Pokemon is confused. You may move damage counters from your opponent's Pokemon to their other Pokemon any way you like. So if the active Pokemon has a ton of damage counters on it, you want to get a bunch of baby Pokemon on the bench KO, just do Strange Hacking. Claydol, there's what we talked about with Kaboom Doll. Put damage counters on your opponent's active till its remaining HP is 10. This does 120 damage to itself. We talked about this with Trevenant. Drifblim has Curse Spreading. Put 8 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. This could be used with a Reversal Energy. You could pair it with Gardevoir EX, but if you're serious about winning tournaments, you're going to do something else with Gardevoir. You also could pair this with Slowking, getting it off the top. But again, why do that when there are other options? And this card could also work well with Uxie. There's Dusclops, Curse Blast. Once during your turn, put 5 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you use this ability, your opponent's KO. This is good for getting rid of pesky cards like Wubo. Dusknoir does the same thing, but with 13 damage counters. Hit something big like a Dragapult that you're having trouble KOing, then take care of it with a big attack. You also get rid of a pesky walls card like Mimikyu. There's Flutter Mane. It's famous for Midnight Fluttering. Your opponent's Pokemon in the active spot doesn't have any abilities regardless of its stage, but Hex Hurl allows you to put 2 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon any way you like. This could be good for wearing down something like a Budew. Gengar has Hollow Dive. Put 3 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon any way you like. This does not see any play. Gengar EX is a fun meme card, Gnawing Curse. Whenever your opponent attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on it. This does stack. Iron Valiant EX is being paired right now with Hopstation EX. Tachyon Bits. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active, put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's great for fixing math for spread decks, especially get rid of low HP Pokemon, or if you can hit heavy with something big, you can fix the math later with Iron Valiant. It also works with Future Booster Energy Capsule as per its future moniker. There's Mimikyu. Ghost Eye, put 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. This is the imminently splashable walls card. Put it with anything. Use a retreat board, get it out of the active. Put damage counters on your opponent's EXs without taking damage. You know the whole deal. There's a Mimikyu EX from Journey Together. Mischievous Hands. Choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and put 3 damage counters on each of them. Mr. Mime has the Psy Power attack. Put 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. Mimic Barrier is also fun. Prevent all damage on this Pokemon by attacks if you have the same amount of energy attached to it. Palisand EX has Barite Jail. For 1 water, 1 psychic, 1 fighting energy. Put damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon until its remaining HP is 100. This is its own archetype. We have Poltegeist. 4T, put 5 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's also an item and tool retrieval card with antique collecting. It's its own archetype, although it is meme. Swirlix has the Festival Lead ability. Festival Grounds is in play. You can attack twice. Sneaky Placement, put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. There's Uxie, which we've been talking about. It's the preeminent spread card in the format. Painful Memories. For 1 psychic energy, put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. This is great if you're just trying to build something up slowly over time, especially if you have, say, colorless or other psychic Pokemon in your deck. It's its own archetype, and it's often paired with Froslass. Vesoquin EX has Phantom Queen for 3 grass energy, 200 base damage. Put 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that have any damage counters on it. Uxie is the preeminent pairing for this one. Yamask, Ominous Eyes, put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Its evolution, Cofagrigus, has the Law of the Underworld. Put 6 damage counters on each Pokemon that has an ability, both yours and your opponent's. Has not seen any play. I've not seen any meme decks that have used it successfully either. We also have the Cofagrigus EX, Hollow Hands, for 2 psychic energy, 110 base damage. Put 5 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokemon in any way you like. There's Hawlucha, Flying Entry, used to fix math. When you place Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, put 1 damage counter on each of them. It's sometimes paired with Archaludon EX. Hitmonchan, counter attack. If it's in the active and is damaged by an attack, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Iron Boulder EX doesn't see any play even in Feature Box. Repulsor Axe, 60 base damage. During your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put 8 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Lycanroc does the same thing with Scary Fangs, except it is 10 damage counters. This is a meme deck, doesn't see any play. Medicham EX doesn't see any play either. Chiatsu has 2 colorless energy cost. Put damage counters on your opponent's active until its remaining HP is 50. This would be paired great with Dusclops. You can gust up a Dragapult, use Chiatsu, then use Dusclops. Pretty much anything you want. Bit of a rough combo sort of to pull off, but with Crispin in the format, you can get this off rather easily, I think. Stunfisk has Custom Trap. If this Pokemon's in the active, has a tool attached, and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Mons, put 5 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. If you put a Luxurious Cape, you can turn it into 220. You can take a bunch of hits, or you can scare your opponent into not hitting. You just use Rumble with a Retreat Locket. Stinglu EX has the interesting Cursed Land ability. If this Pokemon's in the active, your opponent's Pokemon in play that have damage counters on them have no abilities except for Pokemon EX. So things like Baxcalibur and Mimikyu would not have their respective abilities. Nanscoop, though, puts 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Sableye is the reverse of Alakazam. Damage collection, you may move any number of damage counters from your opponent's bench Pokemon to their active Pokemon. So imagine hitting a Charizard EX pretty hard, putting something in the active that's damaged, and then using Sableye to KO that thing, like, say, a Pidgeot. Scolipede has Dastardly Jab. Put damage counters on your opponent's active until its remaining HP is 10. This is paired with Brute Bonnet. It's a meme deck. Yveltal used to be paired with Froslass Control Spread, but it's since fallen out of favor for other cards. Put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that have any damage counters on it for 1 Darkness Energy. Orthworm EX is paired with the Metang engine. It's a meme deck. Pummeling Payback states, if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon for each metal energy attached to it. Dragapult EX, one of the greatest cards in the format as far as aggro is concerned. Arguably BDIF, we'll see in time. Phantom Dive for 1 fire, 1 psychic energy, just 200 base damage. Put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon any way you like. Right now, Rapska is the only thing that will stop it. It's paired with all sorts of things, you know this. Dusknoir. Sometimes I've even seen the Poison package. We've seen it with Iron Thorns, and we've seen it by itself as well. Bouffalant, ready to ram during your opponent's next turn. If it's damaged by an attack, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. But unlike the ability Mons, you have to use an attack. 40 base damage, ready to ram to get it off. Iron Jugulis, automated combat. If this Pokemon's in the active and is damaged by an attack, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Maushold Gnaw, relentlessly. Put a damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon for each of your Maushold in play. If you get 4, you're putting 4 damage counters down. This would be good with reversal energy to charge it up pretty easily, though what else you can KO? Maybe a Dusknoir or a Dusclops. Maushold EX has the Solidarity ability. If this Pokemon's in the active and is damaged by an attack, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon for each of your Tandemaus, Maushold, and Maushold EX in play. So that'd be 12 damage counters max. And then Spiking Energy. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. This was made to be paired with Lycanroc from Journey Together, but I've also seen it in Terrapago's EX deck and Froslass Spread. Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and may God hold you in the palm of his hand.